Right. Yeah. So, right. So this is the question. Is this? Yeah. So I have told you the main word is handover. That's a very clue word. Handover means one nurse is handing over the responsibility to another nurse. That means shift is changing. When shift is changing, the responsibilities are passed on from the outgoing nurse to the incumbent nurse. So she should know what she has to do. So the patient has some problem regarding something maybe. So that's why the nurse who is going out is telling that she has to be careful regarding some guidance to the patient. Okay. So one guidance should be given. That means the other two, no need of guidance. That means the patient is comfortable with two things. The patient doesn't need guidance regarding two things because by default, one answer is right. By default, one answer is right. So one answer is right. That means patient need guidance regarding only one thing. That means regarding two other things, the answers are wrong. That means he doesn't need two guidance regarding two options. So that's very clear. So now let us see here. So guidance, help, support, assistance, similar words. Deal, manage. Okay. Deal, manage, accommodate, adjust, adapt. So like that words may come. So medication. So medication means drugs or tablets, injections or whatever it is that he needs to take. Medications. So when he joins after that, maybe 2-3 hours, at least one time the medication might have been given to him. So maybe chances are less likely for this one. Ongoing therapy. Therapy means treatment. Treatment which is ongoing. Ongoing means therapy is in progress. That means therapy. Before only the guidance should be given. Before the therapy starts, guidance should. So this is not likely to be the answer. So the only option is C. Maybe the C is right because based on that one, by seeing, applying the logic and common sense, it's very clear that B is ongoing therapy. Ongoing therapy means therapy is already started. So when do you give guidance? Before the therapy or during the therapy or after the therapy? After the therapy, no need. During the therapy, you are already doing the therapy. How can you give? So well in advance you have to give. So by default, B is ruled out. Medication, I told you, nurse is going and another nurse is coming. So transfer of duty. So already medication information, definitely it has to be given. So it might have been given. Okay. That is how you have to go. So now let us listen to this. Focus on the words medication, therapy, and sensitivity.
You hear two community nurses conducting a patient handover. Now read the question.
My main concern is Carlos. He's an 85-year-old male who has a diagnosis of vascular dementia. He lives at home with his wife, Maria. She has her own health problems, but generally seems to manage well, and there's a daughter living locally.
Okay.
Carlos had a significant ischemic stroke 5 years ago, and since then has presented with memory problems and occasional non-distressing hallucinations. He has some expressive dysphagia and dribbling of saliva, for which a speech pathologist offered conservative advice. He also has COPD that he self-manages with inhalers. He was diagnosed with a hydrocele, which presented shortly after his dementia diagnosis and causes him a bit of distress. He keeps forgetting it's there, so you may need to go over with him how to avoid discomfort when sitting down or using the bathroom.
Okay.
Question 27.
Yes, now tell me what is the right
You
answer.
hear the beginning of a training session.
Now tell me what is the answer here. Answer is C, Sandeep and Jasdeep. So answer is C. That's very good. That's very good. So now let us see how it is right. Yeah. "26". Now here, so the second person, male, I told you, no? One will be male and one will be female. Okay. Okay. Only he says okay because he doesn't know anything. The male person doesn't know anything. So only receiving the information. And the female person is outgoing and only she is telling. She knows everything about the patient. So my main concern is Carlos. He's an 85-year-old male who was diagnosed with vascular dementia. He lives at home with his wife, Maria. She has her own health problems, but generally seems to manage well. So wife can manage well. And there's a daughter living locally. So here nothing is there. So main problem. Carlos had a significant ischemic stroke. Carlos has a significant ischemic stroke 5 years ago. Since then, he has presented with memory problems and occasional non-distressing hallucinations. He has some expressive dysphagia and dribbling of saliva, for which a speech pathologist offered conservative advice. Already given. Advice is already given. Offered. Not it should be given. It's already given. Okay. Already given. He also has COPD that he self-manages. So management, no need. He self-manages with inhalers. That is medication. So that's done. That is also no problem. So he has a COPD, inhalers, that medication, finished. He self-manages, no need of any guidance. So this also no need of guidance because the pathologist, speech pathologist already offered conservative advice. This also already offered, already managed. And this also self-manages, nobody needs to help him. He was diagnosed with a hydrocele, which presented shortly after his dementia diagnosis and causes him a bit of distress. So this is the problem, present condition. Okay. He was diagnosed with a hydrocele which presented shortly after his dementia diagnosis and causes him a bit of distress. He keeps forgetting it's there. He keeps forgetting it's there. So you may need to go over with him how to avoid discomfort when sitting down or using the bathroom regarding this hydrocele. He forgets because he has dementia. Okay, he has a dementia. He forgets that he has the hydrocele. He forgets that hydrocele is there. So what you have to do is, you may need to go over with him. So you have to manage him. Go over with him means guide him, support him. To go over with means support, help, assist, guide, and manage. How to avoid discomfort. So you have to manage him to avoid discomfort when he's sitting down or using the bathroom. You have to Guide him whenever he is going or sitting down or he is using the bathroom. So he forgets that he has hydrocele. So you have to guide him. You have to support him. He needs guidance. This is the special condition he has developed recently. What is that special condition he has developed recently? So he was diagnosed with a hydrocele, recent diagnosis, shortly after his dementia diagnosis. So he already got dementia. After that, sometime later, he was diagnosed with a hydrocele and he forgets that he has hydrocele and that actually is causing him some distress. So you have to manage his condition. You have to remind him, support him, guide him, whatever it is. That's it. So you have to go over with him in support. So deal with means to go over with, to go over with. How to deal with, to deal with, to go over with, to go over. See, to go over with. So to go over with means go over means manage. So here it is. So to means to, deal means manage, means go over with. Okay. Deal with, to deal with means go over with, to manage, to assist, to provide guidance. He needs some guidance because he forgets. So that's how you have to analyze this particular question. So be very careful. Be very careful. The sensitivity associated with a health condition he has developed recently after dementia, he has developed this hydrocele and he was diagnosed with hydrocele and he forgets that because he has dementia, he forgets that he has hydrocele and he sits however he wants and he gets distressed and uncomfortable. So you have to guide him at that particular instance. So